Well, hello. Today I'm going to show you how to make this cute little phone bag. It's been a very popular free pattern on my blog, and I thought I would make a video tutorial for it. So I use this cotton yarn, and I'm going to be making it in a different color today. I'm going to use this color, this gray variegated color, and it's a 4-weight worsted weight yarn. And I haven't got the label for it, so I don't know what the color of it is, but anyway, it's really nice cotton yarn. And I've got a pair of scissors. I've got an H 5mm hook. I always go by the millimeters because some of the names of the hooks come in different sizes, and a yarn needle. So that's all you're going to need to make this. So follow along and we'll make this beautiful little phone bag. So the only stitches you need to be able to do for this phone bag are the chain stitch and a slip stitch and a single crochet and a half double crochet. So we're going to start off with chaining. So we're going to make a slip knot like this. And that's how I make my slip knot. And then we're going to start to chain. So I just had to check the instructions. We're going to chain 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we've got our chain, and now we're going to half double crochet into we're going to start with a single crochet. We're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook and single crochet 13 across. So the second chain is not this one. It's not the one that's on your hook, and it's not this one. It's this one, okay? And we're going to single crochet. So that just means we put our hook straight into that chain, yarn over, pull it up, yarn over, pull it through 2. So we single crocheted into the second chain from the hook, and now we're going to single crochet 13 more chains across. Okay, so you put it straight in and pull it through, hook in, yarn over the hook, pull it through, yarn over the hook, pull it through 2. This is a really beginner friendly pattern. And you're going to learn something that often is tricky. I know the first time I came across this technique, I was following a pattern for a pair of slippers, and I did not understand what they meant. And I had to go and find a video tutorial to show me how to do this because I didn't understand the whole concept. So we're going to go down 13. Into each chain. I'm not going into the back lump or anything like that. I'm just going straight into each of the chains. And I'm at the end, and I just want to check and make sure that we have got the first one that we did, and then 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Awesome. So now what we have to do, this is the tricky bit, okay? We're going to go down the other side of the chain. We're going to turn our work like this. And that's the top of what we've just made. So we're going to start working down the other side of the chain. And that's the tricky part. I really didn't understand. So we have to turn your work and make another single crochet into the same stitch that we just made that last one into, which is this one. And then we are going to work down the opposite side, making 13 more, making single crochets in the next 13 stitches. Okay, so we're going to start here. 1, 2. If you wonder where you're working into those holes that are opposite the other side. Okay, so that's 2, 3, 4. See how there's a hole there opposite the base of the previous single crochet? That's 5, 6, 7. There is the base of the other single crochet from the previous row. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Okay, so altogether we should have 20 stitches, 28 stitches if we go all the way around. Okay, so let's count them just to check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28 stitches. Perfect. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to half double crochet in the next stitch and every stitch around for 28 stitches. We're not chaining one or anything like that. We're just going straight into doing half double crochet. So we're going to put our yarn over and we're going to go into the first stitch there through both of the ladders there. Yeah, pull it through your half double crochet. So we're pulling it through 3. Yarn over, because half double crochets, you start with your yarn over, right? Then we're going to go into the next stitch, yarn over and pull it through, and yarn over and pull it through all 3. And we're going to go do that all the way around. This is going to be the bottom of the bag. What you'll see is it's coming up and it's going to fold at the chain, and this is going to be one side of the bag and this is going to be the other, and these are the sides. Okay, this is the front, this is the back, and these are the sides. So I'm going to go into each of these stitches all the way around. I'll actually walk you through the first one because these are the tricky bits, right? Half double crochet into each stitch. And what we're going to do here is that we'll get to the end and we'll just work around the side. Watch out for your tail. Oops. There we go. Now you see at this end, we've got like a little curve going around the corner, around the side. So we're going to go into the first one there. Half double crochet, and we're going to go into this end one there, half double crochet, then we're going to go into this other one around the side, start at this side. Oh, I didn't stop, but that's kind of how we're going to go. Okay, so I didn't count them before I started on the other side, but anyway, well, let's count that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And then I started to go around the other side. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're not going to be like sometimes in the round you'll join with a slip stitch at the end of a round and you'll chain up and you'll start another row. We are going to be working into a spiral. Okay, so we're working into a spiral up to the top of the bag. Okay, so there'll be no chain 1 at the start of each new round. Okay, we'll just keep working. So we're going to work around now until we've got 16 rounds. Okay, so this is going to be, we'll be able to count because we can start it from where you can see the bottom is. So that's one round. Now we're going to be doing our second round third round, and keep going until you get to 28. So we're going to half double crochet in each of these stitches, and we're going to keep going until we have got 16 rounds, and that way we don't end up with a silly seam on the side. Okay, so I'm going to go away and work until I get to the end of 16 rounds, and I'll show you what we do next. So here we are, we've got 16 rows. We're going to start at the bottom and count up the rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So now we've got those 16 rounds done in a spiral. We're going to stop the spiral, so we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch and pull it through like this. So then we can go and chain one up as if we're going to start an individual round. Okay, and then we're going to single crochet into the first stitch and into each of the next 27 stitches all the way around and join to the top with a slip stitch. Okay, so we're just going to be doing like an independent round now. So we've chained one, and now we're going to single crochet into the first stitch and into each of the next 27. So single crochets, not half double crochets, single crochets. 1, that's the first one, and now the next 27. 1, 2, 3, and I'll meet you at the end of the 27. So here I am, I've done the 27, and I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 1, like that. And always remember, finish your 16 at the side, so it's lying flat. You don't want to finish your 16 rows in the middle. Make sure that you're finished at the end there. Okay, so there we are. We've done a single crochet row all the way around, and we've joined with a slip stitch to the top of the chain 1. So the next row round is where we're going to be creating this little loop that we have here. Okay, the loop. So we are going to chain 1, single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches, and then chain 10 and skip 1. Okay, so we're going to single crochet into chain 1 first, and then we're going to single crochet into each of the next 7 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we're going to chain 10. 1, 2, 3 chains, 4 chains, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we're going to skip 1 stitch. That's this one. That's where we started our chain from, so we're going to skip that one, and then into the next stitch we're going to single crochet into the next stitch, there we go, and then into the next 19. Okay, so there's going to be 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And let's join it together with a slip stitch. And we do not fasten it off. Do not cut it off. I went and cut it off by mistake. As soon as I did it, I realized I wasn't supposed to do that because I needed to have that ready to make the strap. Okay, so we're going to now make the strap. Okay, so we're going to make a 48-inch strap. Normally anything between 45 and 55 inches works for a crossbody strap, but we're going to chain 160 for this handle, okay, for the strap. 1, 2, I'm going to have to work past where I tied my yarn on. I knew as soon as I cut it that I wasn't supposed to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and keep going until you've got 160 on your chains. Okay? Once you've finished your 160 chains, we are going to go down the chain with all of the V's showing up at the top. So we're not going to twist it, right? We don't want to get this twisted. We're just going to go down with all of the V's on the top until we get to the end. And then we're going to slip stitch it to the other side of the bag, but we're making sure not to twist it. We're going to work back along the strap to make it thicker, okay? But here we are. We're down at the other end. We haven't twisted it. We're now going to attach it with a slip stitch into this side of the bag, okay? Just go into the top. Let's see. Let's make sure we're in the middle. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to go in there so that it hangs nicely. And the yarn is on the wrong side, of course. Let's pull the yarn around so we can do a slip stitch. Pull it through and pull it through your chain. Right, now we can get the bag through here and make sure we've got this all done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to work up the chain, making a slip stitch into each of the chains all the way to the end, slip stitching into the stitches. Okay, so let's oh, actually we're going to make a slip stitch into the stitch beside it just to secure it first. Okay, so let's do that. That's where we joined it. We're going to go into the stitch beside it and we're going to slip stitch it in there so that it's actually double secured. Okay, so just to reaffirm what we've done, we've slip stitched it there, and then we've made a slip stitch into the stitch beside it, and now we're going to slip stitch up the side of the chain. Okay, up the chain. So I'm going to go into the second stitch there, and I'm going to slip stitch it. Slip stitch through. And now we're going to go all the way up the chain. Pulling through, not just putting it in. Don't put the yarn over. Put the yarn over, pull it through, and pull it through. And we're going to do that all the way up. Pull it through, pull it through. That's a slip stitch. And this is what it's going to look like that. Okay, so we're going to slip stitch all the way up, and I'll meet you at the end. So here we are. Back at the other end. I've just been slip stitching all the way down here. I've slip stitched past where I tied that knot. And now I'll do a slip stitch into the next one. and then a slip stitch into the last one. And then where the chain started from, we're going to go into the same spot and slip stitch there, and then we can fasten it off. That's it, and there's our beautiful strap. We slip stitched all the way down. We've got our loop at the back here. So what we want to do now is we just want to flop it over and sew our button on into the middle. I had a selection of buttons. I've picked this one. I think this one. Yeah, I think the black one will be the best. So I'm going to go get my needle and thread and we'll sew on the button. I've got my needle and thread, and I'm not sure if you know this trick, but you can sort of lick your finger. This is old school. And you wrap it round your finger a few times and you roll it back, you roll it off like that, and that creates your knot. That's a good way of making a knot. That's an old school way of doing that. So I'm going to hold my button here, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches that way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches that way. So that's a good place for it. I'm going to drop it down a bit. Okay, then I'm going to start at the back. There we go. Let's come through that hole. So I will go down that one. Pulling it tight. Go up from the back. And I'm going into the left-hand hole there. And down through the right-hand hole. I'm gonna, if you don't like that knot showing like that, you can just put your needle through it and kind of stretch it across and go back on itself, so you can sort of make it disappear a bit. Now we're going to go through from the back and go up and down as many times as you like. I like to go up and down quite a few times. Hopefully I'm on camera here. There we go. And then what I like to do is another thing that I was taught when I was younger about doing buttons, is to bring your needle out right at the back of the button, and then you wrap it around. You make a bit of an anchor, so that makes it stronger and it makes it stand out a little bit, so it's easier. Then you can push your needle through the back where you've gone round 2 or 3 times. And then you go through one last time, and you put the yarn over your needle like that, so it's made a little loop, and you pull it through, holding it firm, and that kind of makes a knot. And then we can cut that off. And do it up. There we go. And I'm going to just take my yarn needle, which I think is here somewhere. Get my yarn needle. and I'm going to weave in some ends. Here we go. I'm just especially on the handle here, the where I had to make that silly mistake and cut it off when I wasn't supposed to cut it off. So I'm just going to wind that in through there. Cut that off just to get it out of the way for when you look at it. And this one, I'm going to thread the needle through first because we haven't got much yarn there to pick up. So we'll put that one through like this. Cut that one off. And then we need to weave in these ends at the end of each of the chain for the strap. I like to go kind of up into the strap. It just makes it more connected to the bag. That's that. And of course you'll do the same on the other side, and there'll be a loose end at the bottom. You'll have to turn it inside out to do that. But here we have our beautiful phone bag. It's really nice. So I hope you enjoy that. And it's perfect for the iPhones and the alternative to the iPhone. And yeah, I really like them, and they're nice and easy to make. So 2 different colors for you here. This is my first prototype. I didn't make as long a loop. I like the longer loop where it's down. So I did write that up into the pattern. So the pattern is free on my blog, but I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm Pam Carr. This is Caraway Crochet. Please do subscribe to my channel. It really helps if you support me. I really appreciate all the support I get, all the comments people make. I love to hear from you. So thank you very much, and happy crocheting.